So, the story kicks off with a young woman living at the Gemini Motel, and she happens to be a prostitute. One night, a mysterious figure shows up in her room, leading to a horrifying attack and raped by intruder. Things take a dark turn when she finds out she's pregnant. Feeling desperate and alone, she takes extreme measures, using a pair of scissors on herself. But here's the chilling twist. The child somehow survives. Fast forward 23 years from the disturbing event, and we meet Helen, the survivor of a harrowing pre-birth assault by her frightened mother. Living in Toronto as a bike courier with her best friend Molly, Helen's life takes a turn when she's assigned to deliver goods to her friend Roman's house on her birthday. Roman hands her a painting, claiming it represents the dark side of Helen, and she brings it home without hesitation. In her motel room, Helen opens up to her friend Molly about her mother's tragic demise. Molly, displaying genuine concern, stands by Helen's side as her unwavering support, especially since Helen lacks other family. After a while, Molly leaves, as she has plans to meet her boyfriend Ed. Returning from the motel, Helen faces a tragic accident, getting hit by a car and leaving her severe injuries. Rushed to the hospital, she endures a head injury and broken bones. After weeks of recovery, Helen finally returns home, where Molly and friends throw a small welcome party. During the celebration, Helen meets Ed, Molly's boyfriend, who shows interest in her. However, the festivities take a dark turn as Helen experiences a sudden blackout and regains consciousness in an empty parking lot. Confused, she calls Molly, discovering she left the party without explanation. Anxious and unaware of the events during her blackout, Helen rushes home. Back at home, Helen, fearing the painting from Roman, stows it away, covering it with a cloth. The following day, she resumes her routine, exercising, eating, and showering. However, after finishing her shower, she encounters a peculiar figure. Subsequently, she undergoes another blackout, waking up in front of her friends with an injured foot. Confused, Molly and others learn that Helen went out in just a towel, disappearing for hours. Upon returning, Helen's foot is bleeding, and she starts removing broken glass from her feet. The following day, Helen and Molly visit Dr. Headley to discuss Helen's mysterious experiences. Dr. Headley inquires about her situation, and Helen describes her unconscious movements, frequently transitioning from one place to another since the accident. She also mentions the recurring sight of a black shadow. Following her explanation, the doctor opts for a CT scan on her brain, with the results expected the next day. Helen promptly heads home and goes to bed. During her sleep, Helen encounters fleeting visions of a female figure. Upon waking up, she receives a call from Dr. Headley. The doctor reveals a strange finding in Helen's brain, a rare tumor. It unfolds that another person has coexisted in her brain all along, Helen's twin sister. Helen's mother, who had attempted to end her pregnancy, unknowingly carried twins. Although one fetus didn't survive, it was absorbed into Helen's skull, and the recent car accident somehow activated this dormant twin. As a result, Helen experiences memory loss and erratic behavior, diagnosed with vanishing twin syndrome. This syndrome occurs when a twin vanishes in the uterus due to a miscarriage, with the absorbed twin affecting the surviving fetus. Now, Helen grapples with two distinct personas, herself and her twin sister. The doctor recommends surgery to remove her twin from her brain, but the procedure is scheduled for 3 days later. Back at home, Helen encounters the creepy painting from Roman, and it mysteriously reappears on her wall. Thinking Molly returned it, Helen decides to give it back to Roman. Upon reaching Roman's house, she finds nobody there, except only a laptop showing a disturbing video of her torturing Roman. Shockingly, Helen unconsciously killed him and has no recollection. As she explores Roman's house, she discovers broken glass, recalling the day she returned home with an injured foot. Convinced of two personas within her, Helen acknowledges a constant internal struggle. Panicking, she returns home, securing her hands and feet to prevent any uncontrolled actions. The following day, Helen, feeling bored at home, takes a walk but experiences hallucinations and heads to a nearby restroom. There, she removes her arm cast, revealing surgical scars and a surprising additional human finger. Shocked, she leaves. From behind, Molly's boyfriend, Ed, captivated by Helen's beauty, chased her with harmful intentions. Meanwhile, Helen's twin takes control, point a knife, and frightening Ed. Regaining consciousness, becoming aware of her own dangerous nature. Faced with the overwhelming weight of her actions, She decides to end her life at the Gemini Motel, the same location where her mother tragically took her own life years ago. Molly, while looking at pictures of Helen, notices a big change in her friend's appearance and behavior over time. Realizing something is off, Molly concludes that there are two different people living inside Helen. Worried about Helen's well-being, Molly calls her, only to hear that Helen plans to end her life at the Gemini Motel. Panicked, Molly rushes to the motel. When she arrives, Helen's twin has taken control and is about to commit suicide. Molly intervenes, but it's too late. Helen's twin, now fully in control, attacks Molly, forcing her to defend herself by reluctantly killing Helen. The film ends with Molly walking home, reflecting on the memories she shared with Helen. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.